Among all the cultural kosher landmarks in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills Thai is the premier place to understand fine dining Thai food, white tablecloth, Beverly Hills. But that is also fine dining, white tablecloth all the way in Beverly Hills. And that can be a schlep to go all the way to Beverly Hills. It's a far 10-minute drive. So instead, today we are at the Sidewalk on Pico to explore that same fantastic landmark institution menu that you could find at Beverly Hills Thai. To start off something like this, I do love my dumplings. We love our dumplings, and I know it's hard to have to enjoy one by myself without Judd, but today I will. You have an excellent dumpling, kind of almost like a shumai twist open top, but the addition of the bright acidities from the sauces that are very specific. This is a Thai iced tea. Condensed milk, strong condensed tea. It's tanniny and sweet and, parve milky, and it's a go-to for us all the time. We legit drive by and pick them up on the road all the time. Oh, this is papaya and beef jerky and sticky rice?
Yeah, sticky rice.
These are classic accompaniments. You want to discover the flavor and kind of the sours that you're playing with and the spices and the sweets. This is how you do it. Sticky rice. The textures and flavors and aromas of rice are so important, and it's a certain level of fragrance and the right kind of sticky and starchy, and then the beef jerky. Crunchy meat, it's charry meat, it's savory meats. This is an incredible example of just coming to learn and understanding cuisine is by trying some of their original standouts. Here I'm looking at a ramen. A ramen is not necessarily a Thai dish, but this is ramen in the Thai version, and this is their chicken ramen. This is a Thai broth, and that broth has a lot of those familiar, more warmer, clovier, anisey flavors that you're gonna find in Thai cuisine. It is so full and filling and delicious and extra spicy if you want it. These are called boat noodles. Now imagine your living room was right on a river and you said, hey man, it's time for lunch, I could really use noodles. And a dude pulled up on a boat and made you noodles. Boat noodles. They are the noodles, they're the broth, they're the shaved beef. They're the very specific adding herbs, fresh herbs to kind of give those counter flavors, and always, the broths are always going to be so much love and texture involved. I grew up next to a lake. How cool would it have been if I used to hang out at the dock and then some dude just rolled by and said, hey man, want a sandwich? I'll make it for you. No, that sounds scary, no. Yeah, after years of doing this, I can finally look at the camera and tell everybody to go fuck themselves, because I present to you pho. P-H-O. We got our rice noodles. So this is called a mint leaf, and I like to shrine them up in there a little bit. We're gonna yoink them right in there. This is some cilantro, and I'm just going to yoink it in there with the stems, because that's where all the flavor is. Here's some sprouts. Here's a jalapeno. We're actually not gonna do that, don't tell anybody. Here is some chili, very important. And then he came, squoze his lime. Who doesn't like a good squozing? There is texture and fats that go into the broth that capture all the other green flavors and the herb flavors, and there's mint in there. And that mint just cuts like a knife through things. And then you have spicy, and then you have that char Indian, and then you have crunchy onion. This is called khao soi. This is a Thai curry. It's spicy, it's bold, it expands your mind, and if the lime is there, it shall be squoze in. Everything else gets thrown in. The spicier is rounder and louder, and the coconut's so special, but most importantly, the lime is supposed to be like one of the most descriptive flavors of what you're eating. This is a lime coconut red curry broth. If you skip the lime, you're not doing it correctly. I also may have just made that up. Was that all correct, or did I make that up? Yeah, see? I make that up. I make that up good. One of those great things that you will find in Thai food is the addition of fruit as your balance, because mango's sour sweet, and the food is also going to be spicy. I'm just gonna put the sticky rice and the sticky chicken and the sticky mango in my mouth and enjoy myself. This is the gay Momo. When you eat a mango, you're tasting more the soury kind of other elements first on the other parts of your tongue before the sweet works. And so it pairs nicely with all of a sudden a crunchy, spicy sweet on the chicken. It's a delightful thing to experience. This is called Chicken Gai Pao. Now, I know what you're saying, we got chicken, we got Gai, but where's the Pao? Pow! This is one of those great kind of all-together meals where you know that your plate is supposed to get messy. It's supposed to be eaten all together. But there are ingredients here that you need to learn. There's basil in there. So you say, okay, man, I know basil. No, you don't know this basil. This basil's a little different. It's kind of purpley. Sometimes it's called Thai holy basil, but that's why you come here. There's a lot of different versions of crispy beef. And at this point, I'm kind of looking at it and there's so many exciting parts of it to describe that I don't know like what the cultural basis should be, and I'm just gonna straight up go potato chip. And this is genius, bro. You ever have a meat potato chip? Crispy beef. It's super thin, it's fried and fried again. What am I supposed to do with that? You know what I mean? And what we have here is just so many textures. And what happens every time you chew, it enhances the broader flavors of all the textures. There's a third generation Thai restaurant family who for the past 30 years has been rocking kosher Thai food for the kosher masses, and pretty much the only people ever doing it, right? So if anybody has any benchmark or idea in Thai food in the United States, it's from here. This is the place. This is where you learn. And if eating is the education and your mouth is the classroom, you know, this is how you're gonna do it. You gotta come here. That's what the Sidewalk is for. Experience an entire culture for kosher, not being done by anybody else pretty much in the world, at the Sidewalk. Pico Robertson, the Los Angeles Jewish neighborhood. Oh,